Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back wasn't really you? Not your body, not your face, but the energy behind your eyes. That quiet sense that you're playing a role so well, even you have started to believe it's real. You say the right things. You smile when expected. You agree when it would be dangerous to disagree. And yet, deep inside, something aches. A silent scream. This isn't me. Now imagine what would happen if you stopped performing, if you let the mask slip just for a moment. What if you spoke your truth instead of the socially acceptable version? What if you said, "I don't care," when you truly didn't? That's the moment your real life begins. Because Carl Jung didn't just warn us about wearing masks, he showed us how they become prisons. He called it the persona, not a lie, but a necessary adaptation for social survival. The problem? When you forget you're wearing it, when the mask fuses to your skin, when you start believing that being liked, approved of, or easy to be around is more important than being real. And here's the brutal part. The more perfectly you fit into the world's expectations, the more you disappear from your own life. You were never taught to be yourself, only to be acceptable. From the moment you could speak, you were trained to edit yourself. Don't cry, be strong. Don't disagree, be polite. Don't stand out, fit in. Your parents, teachers, friends, even strangers, they all gave you subtle feedback on what parts of you were welcome and which needed to be hidden. So you learned to split yourself in two. The public you, agreeable, predictable, non-threatening. The private you, messy, contradictory, full of shadows, doubts, and unspoken truths. And over time, you began to favor the public version. You polished it, perfected it, made it your identity. Not because you wanted to, but because you were afraid of what would happen if people saw the real you. But Jung warned, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Yet if you never bring your true substance to the encounter, only the mask, no transformation occurs. You remain stuck, safe, dead inside. The persona isn't evil, but mistaking it for your soul is. Let's be clear, the persona isn't your enemy. Jung never said to destroy it. He said to recognize it. The persona is your social interface, like the cover of a book. It helps others approach you. It makes communication possible. Without some level of adaptation, society would collapse into chaos. The danger begins when you confuse the cover for the content. When you start believing that your worth depends on how well you perform. The perfect employee, the endlessly supportive friend, the always positive influencer, the low-maintenance partner. You become a mirror, reflecting what others want to see, not who you are. And in that reflection, you lose yourself. Jung called this identification with the persona. It's when the actor forgets he's acting and believes the role is his true identity. And the cost? Chronic exhaustion. A sense of emptiness no achievement can fill. Relationships that feel hollow, even when they look perfect. The haunting question, if they knew the real me, would they still stay? The first step to freedom, notice the mask. You can't remove what you don't see, so start observing yourself in real time. When do you laugh at jokes you don't find funny? When do you nod while disagreeing inside? When do you shrink your opinions to avoid conflict? These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of awareness waking up. Jung taught that consciousness begins with recognition. The moment you say, "Ah, there's the mask again," you create a space between you and the performance. And in that space, freedom begins. You don't have to rip the mask off dramatically. You don't have to alienate everyone overnight. But you can start whispering the truth to yourself. I'm not actually okay with this. I don't believe what I just said. I'm pretending to be calm, but I'm furious. This is the birth of authenticity, not as a grand declaration, but as a quiet, daily act of loyalty to your inner world. The shadow, what the mask hides, must be faced. Here's why removing the mask is so terrifying. Beneath it lies your shadow. Jung's shadow isn't just evil. It's everything you've disowned. Your anger, your neediness, your selfish desires, your unconventional dreams, your messy, irrational, unacceptable emotions. You hid these parts because you were told they were wrong, shameful, or dangerous. So you buried them and built a mask on top. But the shadow doesn't disappear. It leaks out as passive aggression, as jealousy you can't explain, as sudden outbursts over small things, as self-sabotage right when you're about to succeed. To become yourself, you must reclaim your shadow, not by acting it out, but by integrating it. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." So ask yourself, what parts of me have I rejected to be likable? What truths have I silenced to keep the peace? What desires have I called selfish because they don't serve others? This isn't about becoming chaotic. It's about becoming whole. The loneliness of authenticity and why it's worth it. Let's be honest, when you start being real, some people will leave. Not because you've changed, but because they never loved you. They loved the version that was convenient, predictable, and non-demanding. Your authenticity disrupts their fantasy. Your boundaries challenge their control. Your silence terrifies them because it means you're no longer playing the game. Jung knew this path was lonely. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But he also knew it required courage, the kind that chooses truth over comfort, self-respect over approval. Yes, you'll feel exposed. Yes, you'll be misunderstood. Yes, you'll lose relationships that were based on performance, not connection. But what you gain is priceless. Inner peace. Real intimacy with those who stay. The quiet power of self-trust. The freedom to exist without apology. How to practice being yourself without burning everything down. This isn't about becoming reckless. It's about becoming conscious. Start small. Delay your reaction. Next time someone asks, "Are you okay?" Pause. Don't default to yes. Ask yourself, "Am I?" And if not, say so. Even just, "Not really, but I'm working through it." Say, "I don't know," when you don't have an answer, instead of fabricating one to seem smart. Wear what feels true, not what fits the occasion. Voice a minor disagreement, just to prove to yourself you can. Spend time alone without distractions, so you can hear your own voice again. Authenticity is a muscle. It atrophies from disuse, but grows stronger with practice. And remember, you don't owe anyone your performance. You owe the world your presence, but only the real one. The gift of your true self. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming your true self, is not just a personal journey, but a moral obligation. Why? Because when you live authentically, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes a beacon. Your wholeness becomes a mirror that reflects not what people want, but what's possible. The world doesn't need more perfect masks. It needs real humans, flawed, complex, contradictory, and gloriously themselves. So ask yourself now, how long will I keep betraying myself to be accepted? How much of my life have I already lost to performance? What would my days feel like if I showed up exactly as I am? The mask served you once, but your soul is calling you home. Final invitation. This isn't just philosophy. It's a choice, one you make every hour of every day. Will you keep editing yourself into palatability? Or will you dare to be the messy, magnificent, unapologetic truth of who you are? If this resonates with you, if a part of you is tired of pretending, write in the comments. I choose to be real. Let's see how many of us are ready to take off the mask and finally breathe. And if you're serious about reclaiming your authenticity, you'll find deep guidance in my book, Beyond the Persona, where I break down Jung's path to individuation with practical steps to shed your mask, integrate your shadow, and build a life that honors your true self. The link is in the pinned comment. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next video goes even deeper into how to heal the parts of you that were rejected, so you never have to hide again. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be you. And that is more than enough.